Hello guys, welcome back to our anime explainer. Guys, please like and subscribe to my channel. Today is explanation of upcoming episode of Soul Land based on novel. So let's start. Divine Realm Enforcers had an extremely majestic status in the Divine Realm. They supervised everything, managed main gods, and even had the authority of god kings. Under special circumstances, they could even use special methods to surpass the Divine Realm and reach the mortal realm to enforce the law. Golden light made Tang San somewhat lost. He only felt like there was an enormous golden whirlpool spinning around him, and everything in his sight was gone besides gold. Around the circular platform, slightly higher, were 8 smaller round platforms that all seemed around 2 meters in diameter, with the platform where Tang San stood in the center. 8 small platforms. Gradually, that wave of golden energy completely enveloped Tang San's whole body. What he didn't know whether to laugh or cry about was that even his breathing was completely stopped. Besides being able to see, he couldn't react in any other way. Suddenly, without any warning, a scorching hot feeling suddenly came from behind. Immediately after, before Tang San could react, an intense ripping feeling turned into sharp pain, such that it made his vision darken. Slicing skin and muscle, tearing bones, this kind of pain was suffered with enhanced senses. If it was someone else, they might have died from the pain. If Tang San's sea god's heart wasn't broken, then even though his bones would still be torn away, he could have relied on the sea god trident to reduce the pain considerably. The sea god's heart would have used the sea god's power to shield his senses, reducing the pain as much as possible. But now, Tang San didn't have the sea god's heart's help, and just like a patient undergoing surgery without anesthetic, his bones were directly torn out of him. That kind of feeling, ribs, golden ribs. Tang San forced down the fear. Just at this moment, the cold voice Tang San heard before entering the sea god temple suddenly echoed, undoing restraints. If spirit bone removal is stopped, the inheritance will be forcefully interrupted. The consequences of interrupting the inheritance is at worst erasure. As the voice fell, all the restraints immediately disappeared. But this time, Tang San suddenly became aware that being able to move was worse than being completely sealed. At least with his body sealed, he could focus all his attention on dealing with the pain. Tang San understood very soon. In fact, it wasn't that his ribs were being torn off, it should be his 8 spider lance's ribs, while his real ribs were still there. What the unknown force behind him was doing was forcefully separating his spirit bones from his body. In fact, Tang San had done so himself once, but at that time he only severed his arm and forcing out the spirit bone, and not ripping them from his bones. Anyway, his blue-silver emperor right leg bone could also regenerate his limbs. Besides, by choosing to remove a spirit bone, even title Dolor level powers would lose 10 ranks of spirit power as a consequence. In the past he had learned this from his father Tang Hao. Finally, after the last rib belonging to the 8 spider lances produced that painful fracturing sound, the violent pain finally ceased. Tang San immediately heaved a huge sigh of relief. The 8 spider lances connected together, forming the complete 8 spider lances form. Glittering gold flowed across them, even the draining gold threads pulsed visibly. With this external spirit bone he had gotten more than 10 years ago stripped off like this, even though the pain was gone, Tang San felt an intense sense of loss. Just at this moment, the 8 spider lances in front of him began to change. In the Golden Sea, 8 pillars of water flew out, each the same thickness as the 8 spider lances, hitting the 8 spider lances simultaneously. Immediately, that Golden Sea water completely enveloped the 8 spider lances, and was also bit by bit absorbed by them. His pain already gone, with that sense of happiness, as well as loss from losing the 8 spider lances, Tang San focused all his attention on the scene in front of him. He seemed to sense a trace of reluctance to leave from his 8 spider lances. The spirit bone was sending him its feelings. Could the 8 spider lances already have its own intelligence? Those 8 slender spider lances suddenly contracted and turned thinner, but also grew thicker. Each one became roughly 2 meters long, and the next instant, the 8 spider lances covered with wave patterns suddenly unfurled, like butterflies breaking out of their cocoons, 8 giant golden wings unfolding simultaneously. At this scene, Tang San couldn't help shouting. Each of those wings was more than 2 meters long, and across the wings, the wave pattern was its feathers. With each soft movement, that wave pattern would also move, transforming into resplendent golden light. The tips of the wings were extremely sharp, just like sword points. That brilliant light was so touching, as if calling out to Tang San with each movement. These are my 8 spider lances. First feeling violently shocked, an indescribably ecstatic feeling rushed from his heart. That intense joy swallowed his heart in practically an instant, his soul. Tang San nearly couldn't hold back, he wanted to rush over, to gently caress those touching wings. And the 8 spider lances transformed into 8 wings also seemed to beckon to him, sending strong joy as well as intense feelings of attachment. But at this moment, suddenly, an intense feeling of danger came from the 8 wings in front of him, rigidly stopping Tang San's already raised foot in midair. The feeling of danger was transmitted by the sea god 8 wings, but could also be said to be from the 8 spider lances. Tang San had already come to his senses. First was intense pain, and when he had endured it, the pain was followed by intensely contrasting happiness, and after the happiness was ecstasy from seeing the 8 spider lances transform into such glorious sea god 8 wings. A person, even someone with extremely firm will, even if they might be able to endure intense pain without any warning, how would they endure intense happiness? Tang San was one case, if not for the 8 spider lances transformed into the sea god 8 wings sending a feeling of danger at the last moment, dispelling his ecstasy, he might already have failed the inheritance. Compared to Qian Renshue's angel inheritance, Tang San's sea god inheritance seemed too difficult. Having passed the first trial, Tang San already roughly understood that in these sea god trials, he would constantly experience this pain. According to the sequence, the first 7 of these 8 sea god inheritance tests were very likely to see whether he could break free from these 7 emotions. Yes, that was definitely it. If the sea god could sense the changes in Tang San's heart right now, he would definitely be enormously gratified. Because if the sea god's heart was here, its instructions to Tang San would be these 7 emotional tests. Originally the sea god's inheritance should be testing the 6 desires, corresponding to the spirit master's 6 spirit bones. But Tang San was an exception, with the external spirit bone 8 spider lances, and with 7 spirit bones the 6 desires turned to 7 emotions. However, when including the back door provided by the sea god as well as some luck, after having comprehended the challenge in the sea god inheritance, to baffle Tang San, whose sea god affinity had risen to 115% through passing 8 sea god trials wasn't very likely. Tang San didn't disappoint anyone, starting from the 3rd test, his progress suddenly grew smooth. The 3rd trial tested the word, grief. Removing Tang San's blue-silver emperor right leg bone, what appeared was an illusory scene. And this scene portrayed how Tang San's mother Yin chose to sacrifice herself to save Tang Hao. And Tang San could easily save his mother in the illusion, by just lifting a finger. It was extremely easy to get lost in that grief-filled atmosphere. But with the experience of the 2 previous trials, no matter what happened in the illusion, Tang San maintained clarity, guarding his mind. The 4th test came next, stripping Tang San's left leg bone again producing an illusion. This time the focus of the illusion was changed to Xiao Wu, showing Xiao Wu just after she sacrificed herself for Tang San, with her soul on the verge of fading, causing Tang San intense fear. With the experience and comprehension of the previous 3 tests, Tang San's heart was like iron, forcing down the feelings influenced by the sea god. Passing once more, the evil spirit orca left leg bone transformed into an enormous orca figure cruising around on the 4th platform. At this point, Tang San had already passed 4 of the 8 total sea god inheritance tests, and as he passed this 4th one Tang San immediately felt his body start to change. The originally golden bones, muscles and veins began to gradually flush, becoming the pure golden color Qian Renshue had when she attacked with her full strength. In passing the baptism of the 4 emotions, at the same time as the sea god's power influenced Tang San's mind, it also imperceptibly transformed his body. The 8 spider lances had reached god level, it was part of him, and could even think of alerting him. The sky blue ball python right arm bone had Da Ming's soul that could warn him. The blue-silver emperor right leg bone was left him by his mother and was filled with love, it naturally wouldn't cause any problems. Even though the evil spirit orca left leg bone came from the 100,000-year evil spirit orca king, as a left leg bone it wasn't that important to begin with, and Tang San could also completely suppress the influence it had on him even after being stripped. As a result, these first 4 tests were relatively easily passed. Of course, This was still on the condition that Tang San was able to quickly figure out the true theme of the sea god inheritance, making it this easy. Finally, there was moreover the Titan giant ape left arm bone that shouldn't have been a problem. As a left arm bone, it was ranked last of all the spirit bones, and moreover came from the Titan giant ape Ming, and with their relationship, Ming absolutely wouldn't hold him back. But the crucial part was that this left arm spirit bone hid the Azura god's divine power. Tang San could be near certain that removing this spirit bone from his body would be severely difficult. Even if the Azura god's power had already been suppressed to within his clear sky hammer. Starting from almost the instant the spirit bone removal began, Tang San's mind turned blank white. Not from pain, but like when the sea god brought him here, basically uncontrollable, nothing could be felt in his mental world. A faint red color began to emerge in this blank white world, slowly condensing, forming a giant heart shape before him. Seeing this, Tang San was stunned. Xiao Wu, yes, even without seeing her face, Tang San still knew that this was his Xiao Wu. He now stood only 2 meters away from Xiao Wu. Suddenly she tilted her head, beautifully pulling her hair behind her, exposing her flawless features, looking at Tang San with a sweet smile. "Ge, did you know?" "Know what?" Tang San asked subconsciously. Xiao Wu's eyes revealed happiness. "Mom said that a girl can only let one man comb her hair in her whole life. Do you want to help me?" "I do, of course I do." Tang San answered impatiently. Powerful love instantly filled his heart, leaving nothing else behind. To comb Xiao Wu's hair, to live happy days together with her, that was Tang San's most cherished wish. Xiao Wu blushed, making her touching appearance even more gorgeous. Shyly raising her hand with the comb, she didn't dare look at Tang San, speaking softly, "Here." Raising his hand, Tang San wanted to take that comb, but his hand stopped in midair. "This is an illusion, everything I see is an illusion. How could I be with Xiao Wu at the Star Do Great Forest Lake?" Even though this was a mental world, if he took one step forward to take the comb, then that would very likely mean taking this step in reality as well, leaving the center of the platform. "Ge, don't you want to comb my hair?" "No, I do, I want to." Intense love broke through reason, and Tang San shouted emotionally. How could he have the heart to see his Xiao Wu sad? Even if it was an illusion of Xiao Wu, he still couldn't refuse. Sea God Island, Sea God Mountain, Sea God Palace. Sea God Doluor Bo Saishi had sacrificed her life to open the gate to Tang San's inheritance. The Shrek 6 devils had all seen it. They were swallowed by golden light, and could clearly feel the rich energy constantly rushing from that gate, saturating their bodies through the platforms where they stood. The Sea God Temple wasn't like the Angel Temple with doors specially for coming and going. Qian Daoliu's sacrifice was also different from Bo Saishi's. Qian Daoliu only sacrificed himself to open the gate for Qian Renxue. As a result, at times of the Sea God inheritance, 6 people were needed to maintain the gate. With the Sea God's original arrangement, this should be the 7th sacred pillar guardian Doluor. But Bo Saishi knew that the Shrek 6 devils were as one with Tang San, and had also passed at least the black level Sea God trials. Starting from when Tang San entered the inheritance ground, the Shrek 6 devils could see what he was doing. Their field of view also followed Tang San into that inheritance ground, and they could even see the changes in Tang San's mind. Only Xiao Wu truly understood Tang San's heart right now. He doesn't want to refuse me. Even if it was fake, the contents of the illusion was still completely true. Even the source of the comb was true. Xiao Wu's voice echoed in the Sea God Palace, and also roused the sluggish Shrek 5 devils. But they all knew that Xiao Wu's voice couldn't reach that world. Xiao Wu wailing until her voice was hoarse made their hearts sink as well. If he couldn't pass the Sea God inheritance, Little San was finished, lowering his head, looking somewhat incredulously at this right hand. The intense love in Tang San's eyes didn't disappear, but his gaze turned somewhere else. Yes, he had heard Xiao Wu's voice. Even if he only heard a faint whisper in the depths of his heart, and only heard 3 words, "That's not me." But this was enough. Xiao Wu's shout saved Tang San. He had heard her voice. "Yes. No matter how alike the illusion is, she's not my Xiao Wu. I can only comb Xiao Wu's hair, not hers." Boom boom, the entire illusion collapsed with a loud rumble. As Tang San returned to the golden Sea God inheritance world, he immediately saw a golden blue skull appear in front of him, containing a vague light, exactly the same as the light of the sea god's heart. Even Tang San didn't know that the reason he could hear Xiao Wu's voice wasn't because Xiao Wu was shouting so forcefully, but rather because of the telepathic link between them. Telepathy really did exist, such as between twins, between old couples, between close family like father and son, all had the possibility for telepathy. And the link between Tang San and Xiao Wu was naturally, because Xiao Wu sacrificed herself for him. Even though Tang San had already returned Xiao Wu's spirit bone and ring to her, in some sense, the two had once truly been merged together. Under such circumstances, Xiao Wu's and Tang San's souls had formed an imperceptible bridge. With Tang San's life in danger and Xiao Wu shouting herself hoarse, this bridge had passed on that tiny voice, and even though it was only for a split second, even though they were in different worlds, it had still roused Tang San, letting him break free of the fifth of the seven emotions, most likely to cause weakness, the word love. The sea god inheritance didn't stop. After the fifth platform flew back to its original spot with that golden blue crystalline skull, the sixth platform was already flying out. This time, that spirit bone stripping hand grew enormous, the golden hand directly appearing 1 meter in front of Tang San, then suddenly made a grabbing motion. Without a doubt, the torso spirit bone was the largest of all spirit bones, and also the most important of the 6 standard spirit bones. Stripping it would naturally cause incomparable pain. No, he absolutely couldn't give up here. Tang San seemed to see the deep-sea demon whale king's sneer, and also seemed to see Xiao Wu's anxiety. Clenching his teeth, facing the pulling force in front of him, he really was a bit different. No matter how his muscles were twisted, no matter how intense the pain, he still clenched his teeth and endured. Purple bone gradually appeared from Tang San's chest. Even though that was a spirit bone, and should strictly speaking be condensed from energy, it felt as if part of his chest was being removed. Moreover, seeing it personally also involved a visual attack. The violent pain made Tang San involuntarily howl sharply, his tightly clenched fists suddenly pounding his hips. Raising his head, long hair fluttering behind him, mixed sweat and blood scattering in the air. And with that howl, the largest torso spirit bone was finally ripped from Tang San's body. He had never even used the abilities it gave him. The torso spirit bone seemingly formed from the spine and the ribs, entirely purple, landed on the 6th platform that flew in front of Tang San. The deep-sea demon whale king's figure appeared behind the bone, an intense hatred suddenly emerged from Tang San's heart, and the deep-sea demon whale king's silhouette behind the torso spirit bone suddenly turned real. Suddenly leaping backward, he directly plunged into that golden sea. While speaking, the deep-sea demon whale king's body in the golden sea suddenly transformed, becoming the human shape that Tang San once faced. Waving both hands, an enormous purple whirlpool appeared in front of him, and the 6 platforms with the spirit bones Tang San had already removed flew over, circling around the deep-sea demon whale king. Even the 2 platforms that had yet to absorb Tang San's spirit bones showed signs of rocking. How? Tang San was stunned. He could clearly sense that the deep-sea demon whale king really was soul power, and moreover, his expression was also exactly the same, and the sea god presence around him also instantly disappeared. Even the golden blue color of his skin quickly faded, and an equal golden blue color began to gradually appear on the deep-sea demon whale king's body. No, impossible. After all the trials and hardship, having finally walked this far, how could he let the deep-sea demon whale king get away with it? Intense hatred filled Tang San's heart. Waving his right hand, he grabbed the sea god trident floating vertically next to him. Pointing the dark trident forward, Tang San roared, "Deep-sea demon whale king, you actually didn't die." The deep-sea demon whale king grinned, the purple whirlpool between his hands growing larger and larger. Those 2 empty platforms began to slowly fly towards him, who said, "I didn't die." "That's right, I really am dead. But you underestimate the soul power I saved up over 1 million years. Even drawn into the spirit bone, my soul still wouldn't perish. I've been waiting for this chance. I didn't expect it really would come. Ha 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 ha. I have to thank this sea god inheritance as well. Now this inheritance ground is mine. Kid, to thank you for bringing me here. I'll leave your corpse intact once I've become god and remade my body." Listening to Tang San, the deep-sea demon whale king's expression suddenly changed. The golden ocean below him suddenly rushed up, an enormous golden trident suddenly emerging from the water, instantly piercing the body formed of soul power. No, the deep-sea demon whale king howled with alarm, but in this sea god inheritance world, what used was his soul power, no matter how strong. That torso spirit bone also subsequently transformed into a madly roaming purple dragon, fluttering above the little platform, gradually calming down after a long while. Seeing this, Tang San was distracted. A cold chill rushed down his spine, because he suddenly realized that everything just now wasn't the illusion he expected, but was entirely real. That deep-sea demon whale king was really his soul condensed. The deep-sea demon whale king, actually really wasn't completely killed. His soul actually still hid in the spirit bone, waiting for a chance. What a million-year spirit beast, what a million-year spirit beast. So powerful. Tang San couldn't keep his mind from swaying somewhat from the lingering fear. He knew that if he hadn't abandoned the feeling of hatred just then, maybe, everything would have become real, and the deep-sea demon whale king really could have replaced him to inherit the sea god's divinity. The 6 platforms again flew back to surround Tang San, and the 7th spirit bone stripping pain arrived. This last stripping was naturally that of Tang San's left arm spirit bone. Against Tang San's expectations, his left arm spirit bone really didn't cause any change, almost the same as the pain he suffered when his right arm spirit bone was removed, much lighter than with the torso spirit bone. The spirit bone was smoothly removed, and floated towards the 7th platform. A golden platform appeared in front of Tang San, and in the center of that platform floated a woman radiating intense golden light. But her face revealed an extremely painful expression, with faintly discernible golden armor, and 6 golden wings slowly appearing on her back. Her expression was twisted. She was very clearly suffering incredible pain. But even with a twisted expression, Tang San still recognized her at a glance. In the illusion, appeared the god of angels' successor Qian Renshue. Tang San's consciousness cut through the night sky like a shooting star, directly knocking against Qian Renshue's body. Before he could react, light flashed, and his consciousness was pulled into her head. When everything became clear, another scene appeared in front of Tang San. This was a vast empty space. First of all, Tang San saw Qian Renshue. What left Tang San shocked was that she was now completely naked. That golden skin seemed so enticing, her perfect body without the slightest flaw. Only, her gaze was a bit lifeless, looking sluggishly ahead. Following along Qian Renshue's gaze, Tang San's heart shook again. He saw a young man. Yes. Wasn't that young man him? But, why would he appear here? What was going on here? 6 desires of the senses varies, but generally described as desires related to seeing, hearing, smelling, tasting, touching, thinking, or with touch and thought replaced by life and death, the latter referring to survival, or in Buddhism, the 6 desires of lust. Before Tang San could think further, he saw Qian Renshue walk towards the other him. Qian Renshue practically without hesitation, threw herself into Tang San's arms. Sea God Island, Sea God Mountain, Sea God Palace. Completely enveloped by golden light, the Shrek 6 devils were dumbstruck watching the scene transmitted from the other world. Dai Mubai, Oscar and Ma Hongjun said as one, finished. They were men too, and had experience with women as well. They of course understood how stimulating what Tang San saw was, and asked themselves if even they could hold back if they were in the same circumstances, let alone Tang San, who was still an inexperienced virgin. Ning Rongrong and Zhu Zhuqing were already blushing red. This video will end here. Thank you for watching.